What's happening,
How are
buddy?
Oh, just another day in paradise today.
Another day in paradise.
Yeah.
Talking about days in paradise, welcome everyone to, what are we calling it now? So we've finally decided on a new name.
The Oz Music Project.
The Oz Music Project. That's correct. So for those of you that are playing at home, the Oz Music Project is, can't really tell you yet. It's actually a surprise. So we're going to be announcing something hopefully in the next week or so as to what the Oz Music Project actually is. So that's always exciting, isn't it?
Yeah, it is very exciting. It's been through so many different iterations of the name, but I think we've finally come up with something that suits what we're doing.
Correct.
So that's kind of like a hint of why it's changed so many times. So
yeah, and for those people that I've sent an email to during the week to ask them which name's better, thank you for your help and advice. So we have gone with the Oz Music Project for the initiative that we're about to start with. Now tonight we've got Joe Torre.
Yeah,
sorry,
from Premier Artists, and he's also the drummer from Shannon, Noll.
Correct.
So he's done quite a bit of touring around with him. So that'd be quite interesting to chat to him.
It's actually going to be a really interesting chat with him because it's going to be. I've actually got a lot of questions for him.
Yeah. Yep.
So,
and he's got his own band called Scarlet Blue as well. So we'll play that clip to bring him in. Original, which is quite a cool clip. I listened to it before, so I'm excited for that.
It's actually a really good clip. Now talking about original clips, for everyone that's watching at the moment, did everyone enjoy Friday night?
I did.
The originals that we did. So the originals, all sorts. It was on Friday night.
Yep. And we'll keep doing that. We will keep doing that. And we did the covers as well. Does everyone enjoy? That was basically my pick for the top cover bands that we've played on the show. So
yes,
I hope everyone enjoyed that. Yeah.
Correct, Mundi.
So hello, Kathy, Gianna, and Max.
Hello, Max.
Max
Talking about Max. We were talking about Max before. I hope your ears weren't burning, Max. Hold on. I'll just check my phone. No, he still hasn't rung me yet.
Me too.
Has he rung you, Tyrone?
No.
No. Poor Max is there. Poor Max is me and Tyrone's barber. And I reckon Max has probably got freaking hand cramps like this today after how many people's hairs he's going to be cutting. Wait till he gets through ours. He's going to need to freaking... I'm going to have to bring my whippersnipper and gardening utensils over to go and see me get through mine.
I should come and film it. That'd be cool.
So yeah, no, it'd be interesting to find out what everyone's thoughts were. We've got it obviously this weekend. I think we've got originals with a lot is going to be this week. So if you go into Musicland Melbourne's page, there's a poster there with a kebab on it because that's what everyone feels like after going out on the source of an evening, going to see a few live bands. So make sure, guys, you click on that and give it a good share because we are trying to push Australian Aussie music out there as far and wide as possible.
Yep, definitely. Hello, Penny. Yeah, definitely. So we won't chat for too much longer before we bring in Joe.
Do you know why we won't chat for too much longer?
Why is that?
Because we've got nothing to talk about. Actually, we do have something to talk about. We've got a bit of exciting news. Guess who's renovating the venue again?
These guys. What's the saying? You're at it again. You put up a post every now and again with the same saying.
What do we usually say? Hey,
I can't remember what it was. It's just
here we grow. Not here we grow again.
Yes, that's the one. Here we go. Here we grow again.
Grow again. Correct. So what me and Tyrone actually built as our intermission control has now been changed again. So yes, so that's a bit exciting. So we're doing Space Di Pietro, yes, again.
And the funny thing is, not many people saw it anyway. We basically did all these renovations, and then COVID came in, and no one saw it, and now we're changing it all again.
Yeah, so because why not?
Yeah. Well, it's exactly make it a bit better. So,
now, Penny, good news opening soon. Hopefully we'll be able to even open for 25 people and start live streaming again because myself, Tyrone, and the rest of the crew at Musicland were doing such an awesome job and got into a really, really good stride and really good production side of stuff for all these videos that we were doing. But now with the renovations we're doing again, we've decided to go one better. So we'll have a bit more news on that very, very soon over the next couple of weeks.
Always
what's
progressing.
happening with that.
Yep, definitely.
So there you go.
No, Max, it's not going back upstairs.
No,
I will say that.
No. I'm not lifting anything. No. What have we done? I can tell everyone from now that there'll be, because of this Oz Music project, there will be a definite separation between the main venue and Bebby's Bar out the back. And we're looking at possibly making Bebby's Bar catered towards specifically original music. And it's going to be a very big creative hub for the original music scene. And this is part of the initiative that we're doing as the Oz Music Project. But again, that's all I'm going to say. I shouldn't even have said that.
Yeah, definitely. Guys, you will notice that there is a form going around. It'll be on Facebook. It's already on YouTube. It'll be on Facebook and all the socials and stuff. And it's basically, if you want your clips to be featured on the show, please fill out this form, send it over to us, and we can get your clips played. And that's just basically to make everyone's life a lot easier. So if you see it, please fill it out, send it over.
Correct. And if you've got any friends that are in original bands, again, send the form over to them and get them just to send us this form. Once they've done that, then they're as right as rain, and we can start putting everything in. For the bands that have already sent, I think we've got about 3 or 4 weeks worth of music up for our Friday nights. But if we get a whole lot more sent, we might then start running the shows a little bit longer, depending on how we go, obviously, on a Friday night. And then we'll also be possibly selecting bands to come in as soon as we can have them into the venue in order to start streaming.
Start streaming, yeah. So if you do want your band to be streamed, send us over all the info as well, and we'll get back to you about that, because we are looking for bands to do that.
See, look at that. Some guys from some band called Standing Room Only noticed my T-shirt.
Oh, nice. It's a good T-shirt.
It is. It's nice, isn't it?
Yeah.
I'm surprised it fits. It's small. I know I put on my jeans today and they didn't fit. First time in how long?
Yeah.
I felt like I was going to bust a seam or something.
You're shooting buttons everywhere.
Oh, mate. I think I've been down to grab the drill at one stage and I'm thinking, shit, I shouldn't do that again. So back in the tracksuit pants tomorrow. All right, let's play our first clip and we'll bring Joe Torre in.
Cool. All right.
Do that.
This is his original band called Scarlet Blue. The song is called Simple Shades of Grey. All right, what a cool song that was.
Hey, how long ago? Sorry, everyone. This is Joe Torre, obviously. How long ago did you guys record that and film it?
Well, I'm just thinking about it now. That'd say that'd be about 8 years ago now. That was,
wow.
It was a great time. I mean, that was the band that kind of I really experienced a lot of the music industry with. That was we did all the American tours and and all that with that band, and that was the song that was so Simple Shades of Grey went number 2 on the physical ARIA charts. So that was a really cool achievement, and we're so proud of that. And it only lasted a couple of weeks on there. It dropped off completely after a few weeks. It was like, no, we made it to number 2. We're happy with that. So,
well, how long were you guys together as a band?
I was in that band because there was a drummer before I joined the guys. So I was in that band about 5 years.
Yeah, right. Okay.
So,
and obviously over in the US though, where is it here? So you guys opened up for Steel Panther, Dizzy's band from Guns N' Roses.
Yep.
Who else?
Stephen Pearcy from Rat, the LA Guns. Just it was funny. There's a lot of super groups in LA. Like you go like to a Wednesday night at we're playing at a place called the Cat Club, and it'd be like Dizzy from Guns N' Roses and feature the guitarist from LA Guns, but it'd have the guy from the band live and someone else from there was the Offspring, and it's just like all sorts of like these super group band guys and all that, and you just it blows your mind. Yeah, it's unbelievable because you're playing and you're doing your thing and whatever, and you're meeting people that have like played stadiums and toured the world and had number 1 hits. And like America was, a while ago now, like when we were touring there. So it was different. It was before, there was streaming. It was before the iTunes charts. It was before all of that. So people were still, making money off, record sales and off, heavy touring, so it was pretty great experience, to just be amongst those people. I'll never be at that level. They were just amazing musos, but I was just proud to be in the room with them.
So what venues did you play? Because I read that you played at Viper Room.
Yep. So we played Viper Room.
I'm waiting for it. I played at Viper Room too.
Did you?
Yeah,
no, not me. Tyrone.
It's crazy, isn't it? Because it's just the most unassuming club, isn't it? Like there's not much to it. There's you walk in, the stage is on the right, and I know that actually since then I realised that there's actually like a dungeon downstairs, and they reckon it's haunted and all that. But we didn't see any of that. You know what I mean? We played the room, we sat in the booth, and that's about it.
Yeah. Did you go for? You didn't go for a wander downstairs? It's not actually haunted. There's a bar down there.
Yeah, no, they reckon that bar's haunted. There's like a big YouTube thing on it now.
Oh right, okay.
Yeah, I know. No, we never went in there. We were just. It's so even. I was actually discussing that with like my old singer. Like, when we were in America doing all those tours, we didn't do touristy stuff. We saw like the venue, the hotel room or the hostel. We saw the tour bus. So in the tour bus, by tour bus, I mean like a 12-seater van. Like it wasn't a bloody Rockstar Supernova, bloody
like a sky bus kind of thing.
No, nothing like that. But yeah, that's all we saw. So we didn't do a lot of touristy stuff. Like to answer your question in regards to venues, like we played the Whiskey a Go-Go. And for me, that was one thing that I'm just like, guys, I don't care what. I need to absorb this venue. I need to absorb this night because, like, Motley Crue played there, Van Halen, the Doors, like, all my favorite bands, of all time. So when I got there and I had to set up the drum kit, I actually went and stood on the right of, like, stage right or stage left. Yeah. And I'm just like, I just want to stand here because this is where Nikki Sixx stood. So I just, you know what I mean? Because that was a fan moment for me. It had nothing to do with, like, we played there and we were on a tour with, 2 other bands. Like, and we did that across, LA, Arizona, playing, shows part of a tour. But that show had nothing to do with music. That was just me fangirling, for the full 3 hours that we were there,
You got to meet Nikki Sixx, though.
I did. It was bittersweet. We're at the Rainbow, and he was still dating Kat Von D, and we get a call from. I was in the Viper room, and I get a call and Torre, and you distance between the Viper a couple of 100 meters. So we sprinted down when we got the call saying Nick is at the Rainbow, and we quickly ran in, and I had to stop like huffing and pretend like I'd been there the whole time and just sit like around and to make it look too obvious. And then I went up to him and I was like, "Oh man, look, I'm from Australia and I'm a really big fan. Do you mind if I have a photo with you?" And he stands up, and he's a really tall bloke, and he goes, "Oh look, me and my girl are just having something to eat. Can we take a photo after dinner?" So we didn't want to disturb him, so we left and we went to a place called the Cat Club, which is near the whiskey. And by the time we got back, I'm like, "Okay, that's enough time to eat."
We've got a few issues here with Joe's connection.
Bring his car out and on the phone, like I had a Nokia, like it was just, I was pretty sad about that. But I can say I met him, but I don't have the photo to prove it. I was with my keyboard player, Adrian, and.
Well, that answers everything though. If you're with a keyboard player,
and I was just, I was so spewing, but I stole his. What was that?
Hey. Nothing. I was just bagging keyboard players.
I missed that.
No. I was just bagging keyboard players. Now, actually, all right. So going from LA, because now for everyone playing at home, obviously now you play drums with Shannon Noll. So how do you go from being a 20-year-old drummer in a band touring LA and then having number 2 hit on the ARIA charts to playing with Shannon Noll? What's a transition there?
There's not really a transition in all of that sort of stuff. And it was kind of just like, you know how they say, like, over the years, you kind of earn your keep, and you kind of have to work hard and play with everyone and anyone, in order for people, to want to work with you and all that sort of stuff. And that's pretty much what it stemmed from. Like, the story behind Shannon was his regular drummer at the time injured himself, and I had to come in and do a weekend of gigs in Adelaide with 2 days' notice. And his manager at the time, Dave Wilkins, got my details, and, he was given my details through a friend of mine at Warner Music, Karen, and he still needed to get some sort of like clarification whether I could cut the gig, and but we started talking, and he'd seen me do a cover gig about a year ago, and we were talking at that cover gig. So it was realistically a cover gig that kind of got me that, because that's how I met Dave Wilkins, and he saw me do what I do. And I was at I'll never forget the gig. He was playing with, I can't even remember I think it was Wendy Matthews, or managing her, I can't remember. But I was playing with Stand and Deliver, and it was at the Regal Ballroom under the Regent Theatre. It was a we were doing the 80s show at Stand and Deliver. So that stemmed from that. And, I've been fortunate where I'm, one of his more regular drummers now and all that. And that's been a couple of years. And the best part about that is that they're actually all great people. Everyone in the band is great, and everyone makes me feel, really welcome. And I get to play some awesome songs, and so that's how it all stems. Like it just came from a snowball effect of continuously playing. And, I'm still doing that. And I hope that I'm still playing gigs where people still, like, I've still got goals where I still want to, there's still certain artists I want to play with and all that sort of stuff. And I hope that, it stems into that for me,
But it could work the other way as well, because, some people out there might turn around and go, I want to play with Joe, kind of thing,
I don't know like if that's ever going to happen, but we're pushing it now. No, but yeah, and that's great. And I love it when, that's kind of, a lot of young guys, trying to get into the scene and all that, ask those kind of questions and all that about who they want to be playing with and all that. And it's great to see, I'm talking about, like, say, my age group, like the musicians that I grew up with and all that sort of stuff. They're like, oh, I'd love to play with that singer or that guitarist. I'd love to, be doing what they're doing. And that's cool. I love seeing that because,
ambitious.
It's showing that they're ambitious, but it's also showing that my friends that were working as hard as I was, 5-10 years ago have now built up a reputation where people want to work with them. So, and bottom line, that's the industry reputation. If you're a dick, no one wants to work with you.
Yeah.
That's what I was going to ask you. I said, so what kills a reputation? Because obviously, I mean, I've met you a few times, and every time I've met you, basically this is how Joe is. Joe's probably one of the most bubbliest people that you'd ever meet. Happy to have a chat. But have you ever played with anyone that has come in with basically this massive head, brilliant player, but what stuffs them up is the fact that they're just dickheads? Have you seen that affect their career later on?
Oh yeah, absolutely. Because, and look, bottom line for me is I refuse to be in an environment where, I have to deal with those kind. Look, you're always going to come across egos, and that's the industry, and we know that this is entertainment. You know what I mean? We're not surgeons. You know what I mean? No, this is entertainment. We're playing music, so there is going to be egos. There is going to be all that sort of stuff. But yeah, I've seen it a few times. I've definitely seen it a few times. A few times I've had to, pull people up on it and all that sort of stuff. And yeah, they don't get booked. They just don't get booked. Or they will get booked as the last call. You know what I mean? There'll be 5 other people they'll ask before they ask that person. And you just don't want to be that guy. You know what I mean? I don't even think I don't expect to be first call. I don't think I'm first call. You know what I mean? But at least I've always said to myself that at least if I'm doing the right thing, and as long as I'm, always having the right approach and treating people with the same respect that I want to be treated, then I'll get booked. And if I don't get booked, that's okay. Because as long as I've been myself throughout the process, right, and I haven't been fake and there's been no egos and all that, then I'm okay with that. I'd have more of a problem if I was getting booked because of the fakeness. You know what I mean?
But do you think those people that are so fake actually know that they're doing it, or it's just part of their personality?
I wish I knew. I wish I knew.
That's a really good question, man.
That's a good question, but it's
I've got my opinion.
Yeah, I don't know. Everyone's different, but some are. I won't name the guy, right? But I was working with this guitarist. No, I won't, because he's actually one of the nicest guys, right? And he's so ambitious, and he's actually achieved so much as a muso and even in other fields, right? And he's a bit egotistical, and he was even when I was working with him a fair few years ago. And I had to have a chat with him because the singer at the time asked me to have a chat with him about it, and we were doing some session work for an artist. And she goes, "Oh, look, can you speak to him, because he's doing my head in and I don't even." But he actually said to me, he goes, "Man, I'm so sorry." He goes, "I'm not trying." He goes, I know it comes across I'm really trying to work on it. And I appreciated that so much, because he knew that he was doing something, that wasn't right, but he wanted to work on it. So sometimes people's personalities betray that they're, that they've got an ego or that they're arrogant, but they're not. But then there's the other ones as well. Yeah.
But then that comes down to communication as well. Like, I mean, if he had spoken to her about it, there wouldn't be those hard feelings between them. But that's more the psychology of someone's attitude and personality.
Yeah,
so that's totally different.
And everyone deserves a second shot, and everyone, I actually just got to say that I've been really lucky. I haven't actually dealt with that many egos and all that. Like, there's a lot of horror stories from a lot of people. I've been really fortunate. I love going to do my job because I'm always amongst great people. And the bottom line is, if you don't want to go to work with someone, you just don't go to work with them. You know what I mean? You don't have them in your band. You don't, have anything to do with them, any affiliation. You just don't do that, So I've been pretty fortunate. Like, I'd say the majority of it for me has been really positive. So.
All right. So then I'm going to throw this at you. And I threw this question out the other week too, do you think that because obviously you're working for premier artists now, so now you've got to start dealing with managers, band managers, and all this sort of crap. Do you find that managers put a persona forward of what an artist actually isn't? If you get me? So managers will come through and go, "Oh, he has to have brown Smarties, and he has to have this and has to have that." And they tend to paint a picture that these artists have this massive, massive ego, when they actually come into a venue or come in to meet you, and they're the nicest people in the freaking world.
That's actually that's the best way. The way you've actually said it is so true. Like in my travels, or in all the touring and all that I've done, I've actually met so many people, and so many named people that are just awesome humans. And because you don't meet them with managers, you meet them. You know what I mean? Like you actually meet them and you get to know their personality, and you're just kind of like, what the hell, like it's actually pretty amazing. Like, they say, the bigger the star, the nicer the person. Generally speaking, I would say that's how it goes. It's actually the ones that are less of a star that have to push up the ego, but the bigger the star, the nicer the person. And I really do believe that, to be honest.
I think there's a difference between being confident and having an ego, though.
Yeah,
and I think a lot of people get that mixed up, and they take the confidence to an ego level, and it just makes them sort of like, who is this guy?
Yeah,
sorry,
like, I don't want to do this.
Yeah,
oh, sorry.
It's so true. One thing that I remember we really struggled with coming back from the States to Australia, right? So this is about ego now, because the Americans and the Australians have two different ways completely of selling a product, right? So when you're in America as an artist, you're taught to talk yourself up, sell your product, be proud of where you've played, who you've played with, what you're working on next. Yeah, man, it's going to be great. I'm so excited. I noticed that we've got that tall poppy syndrome happening in Australia, where if you say a little bit too much, it's kind of like, oh, this guy's, get over it. You know what I mean?
It works against you. Yeah.
It works against you, whereas it's a completely different mentality that I found in the States. And even when you meet people and you're talking to them about your product, your band, your music, whatever, like, yeah, man, you can do that. You go get it, man. Like, you got this.
Do you think we've lost it as Australians? In that essence, for the original side of it, because this is something that me and Tyrone are sort of a bit passionate about at the moment, that with the original side of music, I've found in the last, all right, since we've started doing our original Fridays, and for everyone playing at home, we're going to be playing Joe's clip again on Friday night, that, how would you explain it? That I was surprised to see how many original bands have actually got video clips, and then I was deeply disappointed to see that all these guys have spent hundreds and thousands of dollars on these video clips and got 100 views, 200 views,
if that, on social media, some of them, and some of them are absolutely brilliant. But I don't know, and that, I think, is the fact that maybe Australia has lost the fact that they don't know how to sell their product anymore. Social media is huge now. But I don't know. I could be wrong.
I don't know. I'd like not to believe it. I'd like to think that that we've still got, I find that the Aussie music scene is a very proud music scene. I find that everyone's still really proud, and, we've got our Barnesies, and we've got our Knollsies, and we've got our John Stevens, and our, I could go on, there's so many artists we could actually name, and people are, can't wait to go out and watch them live, and they're continuously selling our venues and all that sort of stuff. And that's awesome. I think a lot of, it's funny because there's, a lot of mixed scenarios about, on what gets played on radio.
Yeah, because you're spoon-fed.
Because we're spoon-fed a lot of international.
Yeah. Yeah, that's why those artists are what they are, is because the radio stations and stuff spoon feed that kind of stuff, because it either makes them profit or it's just what's popular, and it gets them attention. So they don't.
I think universally, like a lot of people always want what they can't have, like in the sense that, going back to, say, America, if you're from Australia, oh, these guys are from Australia, like we got introduced at the Still Panther giggers with Scarlet Blue from Australia. You know what I mean? It was almost like that became our new band name on tour, Scarlet Blue from Australia. You know what I mean? Like, so like they're proud to have you there. And then if there's an American band that comes here, it's like, whoever from the US, direct from the US. So I think that every country, talks about what they don't have and, wants to, promote as having the imports in, so I don't know.
Yeah, right. Yeah, you're endorsed, aren't you?
Yes.
Who's your endorsements?
So I'm endorsed with Pearl Drums, Sabian Cymbals, and Evans Drumheads.
So obviously that's the gear that you use.
Yeah.
You don't use anything else apart from that.
Yep.
So what kit are you running through Pearl?
I'm waiting. My kit is almost here. I'm waiting for this new kit to come in. It was meant to come in a few months ago, but just, with the shipping and all that sort of stuff and COVID, we'll just end it at COVID, I guess. There was just a lot of delays, but I'm running a Pearl Masters Complete. That's what's coming through. It's a white marine pearl, and I can't wait to get that. And but before that, actually, I'm a big Bon Jovi fan. So my favorite drummer is Torre. So I found the same 90s version pearl that he was using in the 90s, and I bought that, and I've been touring with that for about 2 years now, and that just gets so much attention. It just sounds like a monster. Just a 4-piece kit. It just sounds so good. It's a black sparkle,
Well, you know what they say, it's not the tools, it's the person using them.
Nah, man. No, I use a 4-piece kit. I use a 4-piece kit, and that's it. I keep it so simple.
I always blame myself when people say, "Oh, your kit sounds shit." I said, "Yeah, it's a kit."
The kit's making me go out of time. Yeah.
I'm going to go back though a couple of questions. So, where do you reckon the Australian music industry's headed?
Right now, I can see some good stuff happening. I feel that we're in a good position where I think with everything that's happened, I reckon we've got the country's attention.
The world's attention, really.
The world's attention, yeah. Great point. I think we've actually got the world's attention. And I think that everyone now has a platform to say what they want to say, how they want to say it. They can be legit about it. They can be as organic as they want to be, right? And I think that that's really going to start coming through now. And once those doors open, once those venues open, the floodgates are going to go nuts. I think it's going to be a real positive time. I'm looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to, whatever I do on the business end, as far as, booking or whatever I do on the business end and playing, I'm excited about it, because once it all kicks back in, it's going to be crazy. It's actually going to be really busy. Not even to mention the corporate scene that's been backed up a year.
Yeah. It's a social aspect of it as well.
I was going to say, talking about the corporate, talking about premier artists. So obviously we deal with a lot of cover bands, deal with a lot of tribute bands, and obviously deal with a lot of original artists. How do these bands get on a roster like premier artists for them to be able to book for them? So what do these bands actually need? So if I was Joe Blow band, let's come up with a band name, Tyrone. Let's come up with the Screwdrivers.
Nice.
Right, Screwdrivers. Yeah. Oh, sorry, the Screwdrivers and the SSDs. That's the band.
The SSD drivers.
The SSD drivers. So I've started a band, and I've met you at a pub and got you absolutely off your face and said to you, Joe, I want you to start getting us gigs. What happens? What would you guys need off us in order to do that? You don't know me from a bar of soap, and obviously you're not going to book me, but or maybe you may. Maybe I got you that smash that you might. But
depends how many drinks you buy.
Yeah, exactly.
Just for the record, I'm still the new guy there, and I was there a very short period of time before COVID hit. So myself as a booking agent is still fresher, and I hope I'm there, as soon as possible and whatnot. But it's just everything is crazy at the moment. No one knows what's going on. But to answer the question as best as I possibly can through me, with my short stint there so far, and even with me being an artist myself, right, it comes down to having an actual product. So, I remember even going back to the original band day. So if Skull Blue, and then we ended up rebranding into the Hiding and all that sort of stuff, because I can only give the experience of, what we were asked, versus what I'm asking for, right? You've got to have a product. So you do have to have music. You've got to have content. You are building your fan base online. But the bottom line is you've got to have product. So it's the same as, you know, if there's a business manager going into Coles, right? And he goes, all right, I want to sell you the best mustard. I want to put the mustard on the shelf and I want it prime spot. I want it to be there. They're like, well, give me the product. It's not quite ready yet. We're still just getting the final recipe going for it. Well, you don't have a product yet, do you? You know, so it's the same with the bands. Like the recipe has to be there. The product needs to be there. So,
but
you know.
What about those bands that have got content and product for days, but still no one will even look at them?
It's the $1 million question. It's the $1 million question, you know. There's so many bands that slip through the cracks that are amazing. There's so many bands that slip through the cracks that are amazing. You know, I guess people in the industry and managers and agents try not to make that happen because, you know, every agent, every manager wants to find the next best thing. But a lot of it does slip through. And a lot of people actually don't know how to network. That's one thing that I actually really realized over the last couple of years. People actually don't know how to network. And people don't know how to talk.
Or talk up their product.
Or talk up their product, or in the opposite way, sometimes do the opposite, talk it up too much. And by that point, people are just kind of like, all right, bro, you know?
Yeah, I'm done.
So, yeah. So I think the best, to answer it as best as I can, is be organic in your approach, right? Have a product, period, but have a product that is ready to go. Have a band that sounds great. You know, have content that sounds great. Be workable. So what that means by being workable is do whatever gig comes at you. You know, like if you get booked on the shittest tour run, right, you still go do it because doing some gigs is better than doing no gigs. So playing with 5 people at the bar is still 5 more people than you would have played at in your room. You know, and that's not always going to be the answer because, you know, people will debate that saying, yeah, online content and marketing's, you know, where you get great. And that's true too. But if you're wanting to go out and play live shows, then you actually got to go out and play live shows. You know, there's no real other second way of doing it. Like it's live music, you know?
But to a certain extent, I mean, then it comes down to, like what you just said, then it comes down to a business aspect. Yeah. That it's the old quantity over, sometimes not quantity over quality, but it's sometimes, how do you explain it? It's the fact that if you're out playing every weekend and then someone from Premier rings you or someone from another gig rings you and goes, guys, we'd love you to play. And you go, mate, I'm sorry, I'm already booked up. Automatically you'd start thinking is that, oh shit, these guys have got lots and lots of gigs. They must be good.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
As opposed to, mate, I can book anything you want. You tell me whatever you want me to do, we're free. Then automatically think to yourself, well, these guys aren't really doing many gigs. I'd hire the band that's playing constantly to a certain extent. But yeah, that are playing constantly, but playing smartly as well. There's it's a whole other new world.
That's right. And there is that fine line, but you're 100% right as far as, you know, being out there doing things. You know what I mean? Like I learned this from this old drummer. I can't even remember his name. He wasn't a known drummer or anything. I saw him play at a bar like when I was in my 20s. It was a bar in St Kilda, something cellar or something. And I met this drummer and he was really cool and he'd done so much stuff, but no one knew who he was. I can't even remember his name. He had bald head. I can't remember who he was, but he said to me, he goes,
Steve,
he goes, no matter what you do, keep playing, no matter with who. Yeah. Bands will come and go, but good musicians will always stay. So continue to, you know, play as, and that goes whether you're playing cover gigs, original gigs, drum clinics, piano clinics, guitar, whatever, just keep playing. And that's what I believe will always make you work in the industry because you're workable. You're not being like, oh no, I'm not going to go do that gig. I'm a bit far beyond that. You know, I did a gig 2 years ago or 3 years ago. I played to 18,000 people. The following night, that was on a Saturday night, right? And it was on my birthday. It was an amazing event. The following night, I played a bar in the northern suburbs for 10 people. So just play, you know, at the end of the day, you just play the gig. You know what I mean? You play, because I think if you want to like either be a session musician or if you're a cover band musician or whatnot, you're still a service. So you've got to go out and do the job that you've been contracted to do. So, you know.
But I think it comes down to the fact that obviously, all right, from speaking with you so far, obviously you're more than passionate about playing drums. If you could sit down in front of a drum kit all day and play it, you'd be happy, yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah. So, but that's where I think a lot of people lose their way in a mentality sense, is because they're looking at a dollar sign or saying, oh, mate, I'm not playing to 5 people. You know what? Go out and freaking enjoy yourself. That's the whole point of playing music.
Do it because you love it.
If you don't lose the enjoyment and it's now turned into work, go and get an office job because you'll make more money.
I've said that so many times. And also in reverse to that, well, not in reverse to that, but on a side note to the office job comment, I used to say, I've said this for years, I do a lot of cover work. You know what I mean? I'm playing a lot of, cover gigs around Melbourne. That's pretty, as a drummer, as a musician, that's the bread and butter until you're out on tour playing with, whether you're doing whatever gigs with whoever, right? I always said to myself, if I'm going to be miserable playing those gigs on Friday, Saturday, Sunday nights, I'm better off going and working the 9 to 5 office job and being miserable from 9 to 5, Monday to Friday, and I'll get my weekends back.
Yeah.
So if you're actually not going to enjoy it, just don't do it,
Yep. Then go out and play original music and enjoy. If you enjoy writing, go and enjoy writing.
Yeah. But the good thing is that the majority of musicians, I think, do it because they love doing it.
Yeah. I think so.
And I think that's a really good thought.
Yeah. I agree.
I've always said what you just said to kids, Joe. I had that many kids come in, and you can hear some kids play, and they've got the passion for it. And you speak to mum and dad, and they go, "Oh, what are your marks at school?" Well, little Johnny's a straight A student, and he's looking at getting an ATAR of 90 something. Oh, cool. What's he going to go and do afterwards? Oh, he wants to be a musician. And I go, oh, please don't. Like, as much as what our smart little Johnny is, it's like, mate, get out, get an education. At least if you are going to go and do it, just, I don't know. It's a funny thing for me. But anyway.
Yeah, definitely. Because you do mentoring as well, don't you, Joe?
Yeah, well, I've got my own drum school. So just, very creative name, Joe Torre School of Drumming, But yeah, it's I've been running that. Probably this will be the second year that I'm into it. This year I've really pushed it a whole lot more. But I've got, students ranging from 6 to 19. No, 20. 6 to about 25, actually. My apologies. And I've got guys that want to learn how to play drums purely for passion, purely therapeutically. Like, how's that for a concept? They're paying for drum lessons to have a therapeutic drum lesson because I've got this one student, he's studying so hard at uni right now. He's in his 20s, right? He's into biology or a particular science or I don't even know. He's way too smart for me. Right? I don't even understand how I'm teaching him. Okay. But what he gets out of the lesson isn't how to play a paradiddle or the rudiments, which we learn all of that stuff as well. Yes. But he gets what music does for him for that half an hour or 1 hour that he's with me. The rest of the world escapes. You know what I mean? Yep. It's just me and him in a room, or right now me and him online, and you get to escape the rest of the world, and we learn songs of some of his favourite bands, some of his favourite artists, and it's purely therapeutic.
And nothing else matters,
Nothing else matters. And then I've got the other student who's finished high school, and he wants to be a pro drummer growing up. He wants to learn all the ropes on how to break out into the scene, into the cover band scene, into the original band scene and all that. Great. Okay. Well, we have to attack what you want to do. We have to attack that approach completely differently. And it's awesome. I love being able to do that, and so yeah, that's something that I've always wanted to do. And I'm glad that I do it. And it is a business that, while it is, an income, cause I'm running a business, I'm glad that I'm doing something that's good, rather than,
definitely.
Taking money for no reason. You know what I mean? I like to, I don't have a million students. I've actually got a great clientele of students and I've had most of them for at least 2 years or whatnot, and they're continuously growing, and I'm seeing them grow. And, I've got stuff planned for them. I'm going to be introducing them to musicians and bands and, venues and all that. And I get to see all of that, and it's awesome, because that's what my drum teacher was John Cagnola. So he's Del Braithwaite's drummer. Mm-hmm. And, he mentored me before there was the word mentoring. You know what I mean? I'm a student of, Drum Tech, Drum Tech School of Drummers. It was hardcore drummers that, are just amazing. And they were drum lessons. I weren't mentoring sessions, but the drum teachers were mentors before the word mentor was a thing. Now it's mentors and entrepreneurs and all this, all these, like back then it was just, someone that would actually teach you from the heart rather than a textbook as well. And, John was one of those guys. Like he would tell me about, what life was like on the road. He'd tell me about learning a song a different way and
how to deal with people and all that kind of stuff.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Just as much as the playing. And I talk about that every week with my students. Like how to approach an email. Like one student was asking how to send an email off to a venue, right? But he wanted to try and do some stuff there with a mate. He wanted to do a duo thing there when a venue opens up again. It was like a winery, kind of like an open bar winery. So, I'm helping them draft an email of, how to approach it and all that sort of stuff. I love doing that sort of stuff. And we spent most of the lesson doing that rather than actually playing.
Yeah, that's life skills as well, though.
Life skills. I agree, yeah.
And that's the sort of stuff that a lot of people don't understand. And that's something that I'm going to actually have a chat to you about as well, Joe, because that's something that myself and Tyrone are looking at afterwards with this Oz Music project, which we'll be telling everyone about in another week or so. Mm-hmm. But Joe, thank you so much, mate, for coming on.
No worries.
It's been an absolute pleasure. Now, obviously, if anyone, once we go back into things and everyone can go out and see gigs again, if you see at a Shannon Noll gig and anyone wants to go backstage or anything, just say I'm here with the drummer Joe Torre. I won't do that. I'll get him. You see 19,000 people at the Denny Ute Muster going, it's all right, I know Joe.
He can't hide.
But thank you so much, mate. I'm going to be popping up a few photos and everything on the Musicland Facebook page. Make sure you jump onto Joe's socials for his drum school if anyone does want to learn how to play drums. And saying what you just said then, Joe, I wish you were my teacher when I was growing up when I was 16.
No,
because all I wanted to do was play music. I hated playing rudiments and I can't read music. So everyone but I like that. I just wanted to play. So thank you so much for that. And obviously you still play. Oh, but just quickly, you still playing with Reece Madsen?
I'm not his regular drummer, so it's only when I get the call when his drummer's a mate of mine called Mitch Rogers, and whenever he can't do the gig and I can jump in, I jump in. But Reece is a close mate, so we try to catch up whenever we can, more for beers than for gigs. But yeah, whenever it comes up, I never say no to him because he's a good mate.
And so obviously the other thing is if you ever see Joe at a bar and you're looking for a gig, make sure you shout Joe a lot of beer. So once he's back with Premier Artists, so hopefully soon everything will be back open again and we can start booking gigs. So thank you very much, Joe. We're going to go, what song are we going out to, Tyrone?
There's actually no song to go out to.
Oh, all right. Well, why don't you just pick something?
This is live.
Yeah, this is well.
It doesn't
matter. I don't know. I haven't got anything lined up.
All right, we'll see if someone will send us a request. We'll just keep talking to Joe then till the request comes up.
Until someone puts a song out, that's it.
No, even better. You know what? I reckon we just finish the show off with Joe. How about that?
All right, good idea.
All right, let's do that.
Cool.
So thank you everyone for watching. Obviously, this is now the Oz Music Project, no longer in Musicland tonight on a Tuesday. Make sure you tune in Friday night. We've got our originals nights with a lot. So if you jump on the Musicland Melbourne page, there's a massive picture of a kebab. Jump on that and make sure you like and share it. And it is on YouTube only.
Cool. Garlic sauce. Barbecue sauce.
Do you want me to grab gum? Oh, God, I'd smash a kebab now.
Oh, me too.
Yes, we got Mr. Damage is possibly going to be looking at coming down for a show. But if you do have any friends or anything that do have any original music that they do want us to play, let us know. This Saturday night, I don't know whether we're actually doing anything cover-wise, but we'll keep everyone in the loop for that. It is the grand final. So it's sort of un-Australian to try and do anything while the grand final's on.
Yep,
that's just
definitely
my take on it. What else? That's about it. So make sure you like, share, subscribe, jump on everything, jump on Tyrone, jump on Joe, jump on me, I guess. I don't know where I'm up to now.
Kick us all in the bells. Smash us all in the bells.
Yeah, smash us all in the bell if you're on Facebook, YouTube.
Cool. All right, thanks, guys. We'll see you on Friday night.
See you on Friday night.
Thanks, guys. Thanks for having me. Thanks,
Joe.
Thanks, Joe.
See you guys. Thank you.